You know, there is a lot to talk about here, and first thing is, I don't think people today appreciate how much you guys changed the whole scene of music. You started the punk movement. You guys were doing it in '74, which is 2 years before the British punk movement. Isn't that right?
Right, right.
And
actually, even more.
Even more?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking maybe 3, 4. You guys were doing this in the 50s.
You know who appreciates us? Green Day and the Offspring.
Right, right. There's a lot of bands now that have said this was the band. When you guys first came along, you didn't sound like anybody else. You didn't look anything like anybody else. How did the average people react to you back then?
Like we were aliens. Like
Really?
we were from Mars.
Right.
I remember this agency Premiere, they booked us, and they wanted us to get wider exposure. So they put us on tour with, not on tour, but we did a show with Toto in the middle of St. Charles, Louisiana. It's supposed to be the most dangerous place on earth. And we played some basketball stadium. It was us and Toto, and the kids we drove about 15 hours out of the way to get there, because we had just done like 9 shows like prior. We get there, and we're tired. We go on, we play the show, and everyone's just staring at us like we're from Mars or something like that.
Right. There's a story I read somewhere where you guys are coming out. You're coming out of a van,
right,
and some woman saw you, and she went up to your manager. Do you remember? You remember this story?
Yeah, she went up to our road manager, Monty, and she said, "How nice of you to take care of these retarded people."
Now, the Sex Pistols, of course, they come along in '76, I believe.
Right.
They come out, and the Sex Pistols.
No, they came out in like '77.
Oh, okay.
We had 3 albums out before they had their first.
Right. You guys came first. We established that. We're not going to fight about that.
Okay.
But the Sex Pistols just said they wanted to fight you guys. Isn't that right? Because there was a perceived rivalry, but the Sex Pistols actually wanted to fight you, and you didn't.
Well, when we first met them, it was our first tour over there, and yeah, they wanted to come on like they were gonna they wanted to, that's how they were. They wanted like they wanted to start something. So the first time in '77 we came back, we did a tour, and Johnny Rotten wanted to come backstage, so for a little prank that we pulled on Johnny was that we all kind of pissed in the beer. And Johnny,
what do you mean you kind of pissed in the beer?
We did.
Okay.
We urinated.
There you go. Yeah.
Pissed in the beer.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Ramone gave Johnny Rotten the beer. It's like our way of saying hello.
Yeah.
Well, that's our greeting,
Well, that British beer is pretty bad. He probably didn't
know the difference.
You've written a million.